What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Teej pack. Teej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Teej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Teej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Teej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Teej pack. Feel the Teej, my friends. Don't be hating on me. Don't be hating on me talking about one thing about it. We always going to be on CP time. Anton is not on CP time. All right, I might be on CP time a little bit. Just a little bit. What's going on? It's Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, and I am very, very, very humbled to be without my Rolex right now because it is over there in the other part. Give me a second. I am so distant. Any future host of the Millionaire Morning Show, they say Anton quiet quitting on us. Any future host of the Millionaire Morning Show has to wear a Rolex or Patek or Omega or a Tag. Any of that stuff will work. What's going on, friends and family? Y'all ready to rock out? A lot of people are saying, Anton, you letting so much gray come into your beard. What is happening? Why is there so much gray in your beard? Well, let me tell you why there's a lot of gray and I'm letting it get a little bit more fuzzy. Number one, I'm in grind mode. So I'm in the gym, I'm working out. You know, when you get in the gym, you want to get that little rough around the edge because it make you feel like you on edge and stuff like that. But also on top of that, I'm shooting 2 new commercials this weekend. So I'm going to be down in Florida. I'm going to be shooting new commercials. I got the new Teej commercial that I'm shooting. And so I got to give y'all the transformation. I got to give y'all the transformation. I know the ladies like the salt and pepper. They say, you look like a little tiger. That's not quite the tiger roar that I was looking for. However, we got to make sure that we support Teej. So first and foremost, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Miss Lady J says, gray is wisdom, rock that ish. No, wisdom is wisdom. Wisdom is wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. I'm shooting a new Teej commercial. So we got to make sure that we rocking out and we doing it the right way. And I just don't want my skin to be smooth. I want everything to come together the way that it's supposed to come together. Shout out to Sherelle in the building. Make sure you get that Teej Henley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Denise Barber says, I watch Q Show and I want to say thank you for representing married couples. Let me give a round of applause for that, for the married couple representation in the building. I appreciate y'all for supporting me and holding me down. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Y'all say it look good. Don't keep trying to big up this gray. I'm getting rid of this stuff. After this weekend, when y'all get that new Teach commercial, it's going to be out of there. If I let y'all see any more gray in my beard, y'all going to be like, this man is old. Let me tell you something. I've had a beard since I was 11 years old. I've had a whole beard. I know y'all want to talk stuff about, oh man, you know what I'm saying? You bald headed. I can grow my hair back too. You might be a little taller than me, but you ain't got the same type of beard as me. You got a struggle beard, big dog. You got a lace front beard. Don't ask me why I'm in such a good mood. Don't ask me why I'm in such a good mood. I'm always in a phenomenal mood when I come to you guys and tap in for the Millionaire Morning Show. So it is Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. I almost missed my year. It's about to be 2024. We in the final lap. We're in a victory lap of 2023. Victory lap of 2023. We got to make sure that we take care of business. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also on top of that, Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. If you have not hit a like for the algorithm, it is looking at, what is up with black people? One thing is for sure and two things is for certain. Y'all going to get a Hellcat, y'all going to get a Nissan Altima, and y'all not going to hit a like for the algorithm. What's up with the like for the algorithm? No. Listen. I'm going to be very clear. Come next year, I might grow my hair back, and I'm going to have a whole full hairline. Call it what you want. I'm going to have a whole full hairline out here in these streets, all right? So all of us need a little bit of help. Oh, all of us may need a little bit of help. I'm in a good mood. All of us may need a little bit of help. And let me be very, very clear. When I show up and I'm looking like Superman and all of that other type of stuff, and we're going to get this gray gone, I'm going to have a whole full hairline up in here in these streets. Hold on. Let's just be very, very clear. Let's be very, very clear. One statement that I hear communicated from a lot of people, now my hairline not going to be sprayed, it's going to be real. I'm going to get implants. One thing that I hear from a lot of people, because I spent a lot of money, for example, I spent a lot of money on Rita's teeth. I spent a lot of money on my teeth. A lot of y'all, you not necessarily toe up like that. I heard my dog Averb. Shout out to Averb. I be kicking it with Averb. I be talking back and forth, texting back and forth with him or whatever like that. He from battle rap culture. And I like his content or whatever. And he put it perfectly, but I've heard it communicated before. But he put it perfectly. He said, listen, a lot of y'all, you not really toe up. You just ain't got no money. Money fixes problems. Sometimes it exaggerates problems when you don't know how to, oh, my bad, Rita. I ain't mean to say your teeth too. My bad. I'm being a little bit more transparent than I want to. When you don't understand how to get to the bag and how to leverage the resources properly, you just ain't got enough money. Have y'all seen Khloe Kardashian? Have y'all seen a new Khloe? Man, listen, Khloe don't even look like the same person. I am about to get that Floyd Mayweather treatment. I had the best dentists. I'm going to have the best hair surgeon. I'm getting everything. I'm getting everything done. Everything. I'm going to be out here 20 years younger. You going to be old, wrinkled, still talking about black don't crack. That ain't going to be the same for you. It ain't going to. Listen. 15,000, 20,000, it'll change your life. Free cash flow, no debt, 15, 20,000, it'll change your life. Y'all seen the new Khloe? Man, Khloe look different every year. She got a new look every single year. Khloe don't look the same. Chloe don't look the same. That's a fact. Man, let me get to the show. Y'all got me going off on a rant. Let me read some of the early super chats. Shout out to Mike, that dude. I appreciate you for holding me down on Cash App. You are absolutely awesome. Hell yeah, you can pay for abs now. You can pay for everything. Man, Kevin got a whole BBL. Now, I'm not getting no BBL. That's a whole now we got limits. We're going to get our teeth done. We might get a little couple hair follicles on the top of our head, but we going a little bit too far on the BBL, all right? Get you 15, 20,000. You're going to be a whole nother person. You're going to be a whole new person. You know what I'm saying? You're not ugly. You just broke. You not ugly. You just broke. Facts. For real. We're going to get there. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to get started with the show. We got to talk about y'all going homeless. I'm not about to be talking about no money. I'm talking about homelessness today. Persevere Data TV is in the building. Shout out to Persevere Data TV. Says it finally clicked, bro. I got my logo for my media company. Starting the journey to document my journey. Thank you, Persevere Data TV. I've been talking to this man on a Brazilian chest lift. Oh, I've been talking to Persevere Data TV and coaching him through it, and he making more money than he never made in his life. And I'm trying to convince him what he's supposed to be doing in order to level up and get to the next level, reduce his tax burden, and we're gonna go through that. All right, but listen. Y'all need to get y'all money up. This is the show that's hopefully it click with you. Hopefully you tap in. Hopefully you completely connected like my dog Persevere Data TV. And I had a conversation with Rita this morning. And I told her to open up the coaching. We add new people for the coaching, for the culture. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Persevere Data TV. I appreciate you for holding me down, big dog. Spaces says, you sticking with the salt and pepper beard, huh? No. Side of there, fam. It's getting up out of there. New hair, new beard, new hair big, nair big, everything big. Nails done, everything big. The cultivator says, what up, though? Shout out to my Detroit bred Dren. And the building says, keep cooking, fam. I try to watch every day, but I'm in my bag too deep most days. You and Patrick Bet David are my favorites. Let's run up that 30 mil. My goal, 2. Can't wait to move to goalpost 14th Street. Shout out to the cultivator in the building. I appreciate you, big dog. Real talk. Callie Herzog says, I'm going to just drop this fireball inside of the collection plate. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Brittany in the building says, Anton's, I don't know what LOTD is. You're not ugly, you just broke. Shout out to Brittany, my dog Ash. Ash automatically gonna get the drum roll. So Ash says, God bless you, AD, and your family. I love you, brother. Amen. Shout out to my dog Ash. Thank you to everybody that support me on Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, all of that. You guys are absolutely positively appreciated. 100%. Line of the day. Anton's line of the day. Thank you, Brittany. Hey, let me get a mental health check in the chat before we get started with the show, because once I start cooking, I'm only going to be reading Super Chats throughout the show. So let me get one word mental health check in the chat. What y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? What is your projection towards life? How you feel? What's the word? What's the word? Thunderbird. Give me one word, mental health check in the chat so that we can get started with the show and we can start to get there. Blessed. Focused. Better. Great. Playful. It's Wednesday, ain't it? Winning. Distinguished. Life is great. Inspired. Blessed. Good. Calm. Growth. Grandiose. I like that word. Grandiose. Supreme. Accomplished. Too busy. Accomplished. Blessed. Inspired. Ready. Focused. Rejuvenated. Hustling. Peaceful. Excited. Rested. Prosperous. Peace. Blessed. Prosperous. Rejuvenated. Calm. Optimistic. Joyful. Optimistic. Amazing. Horny. Dynamite. Blessed. Driven. Relaxed. Floating, scraping by, encouraged, accomplished, surviving, broke, rejuvenated, sweating, swole, Honored, energized, entangled, not entangled, chosen, focused, restless, rogue, crafty, motivated, mystic, driven, superb, dynamic, winning, double bossing. Shout out to my dog Jay Whitfin. Whipped, pretty, or petty, freezing, elevated, turn the heat on, thriving, sublime, balling, positive, hornball. Y'all just full of the sex. Y'all so full of the lust demon, discombobulated, working, wonderful, adjusted point. Why y'all so full of... I'm going to get there, man. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to address that on my live stream tonight. Are y'all tuning into the live stream tonight on the Anton Daniels channel? That's going to be the name of the live stream. Obsessed with sex. Why are we so obsessed with sex? I am going to... See? I just wait for God to give it to me, and then I'm going to communicate it to you. We're going to address it tonight. We going to address... How y'all thinking about sex and we talking about money? Shout out to my dog, Ray Sean. We going to get there. We going to get there. I'm going to fix y'all. All aspects of your life, I'm going to fix you. All right, so let's rock out, y'all. Let's get it popping. I'm going to be reading Super Chats throughout the show. Again, make sure you tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description, as well as... It's not even pinned to the top of the chat. Let me get that pinned to the top of the chat. I'll get that up there for y'all shortly. Hold on. Give me a second. I got to make sure that my stuff is all together. So while I'm getting that together, I'm going to get that pinned to the top of the chat. Let me just communicate something to y'all real quick, because I get on a lot of coaching calls and I see what's happening across the atmosphere and the YouTube sphere and what's happening in the economy. And I like to get out and I like to see how people living. I'm going to be in Florida this weekend taking care of some business. So we have a lot of things happening in our life. You know what I see the number one wealth killer is? If you had to guess in the chat, what the number one wealth killer is inside of the chat, what would you say? I'm curious as to what y'all think that is. What is the number one wealth killer if you had to guess inside of the chat? Just curious. What's the number one wealth killer? They ain't clone me. I'm better than ever, baby. I'm better than ever, baby. The link to the Patreon is pinned to the top of the chat now. What's the number one killer? I see debt, women, food, credit cards, liabilities, debt, divorce, pride, food. Nope, I haven't seen it yet. Women, debt, women, divorce, consumer debt, disciple debt, divorce. Finally seen it. Finally, somebody caught the wave. You know what the number one killer of wealth is in the United States of America? I'm going to be reading these super chats shortly. It's your car. It's not complicated. It's not divorce. It's not any of that. It's not credit cards. It's not laziness. It's not a lack of knowledge. All of those things contribute to the death of your wealth, but it is absolutely, positively across the board, because you got to take into consideration this, right? Everybody don't have family court problems. Never had it. Everybody not getting divorced. Some people not even getting married. Everybody not having children out of wedlock. Everybody don't have issues with the people that they lay next to every day. Everybody don't have lifestyle problems or lifestyle creep. They just may not make enough money. Some people don't make enough money. Some people make more than enough money, but they don't know how to manage the money correctly. But the one common factor that I see across the board for the majority of people in the United States of America on all socioeconomic levels is everybody feels, keyword feel, doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. Everybody feel like they need a car. When I went to New York, I was so perplexed. It was one of the weirdest things that I had ever experienced in my life, because I couldn't understand for the life of me why everybody needed a car in New York. Why do you need a car in New York? Isn't the idea behind being in New York, Boston? I love visiting Boston. They have a phenomenal public transportation system. DC, even though DC in a lot of parts of it is a POS, DC has a great public transportation system. some of the fastest growing, greatest cities. We just got our rail system in, and we're trying to expand on it in order to continue to grow the city. I love what's happening in Detroit. Even Chicago, I won't even dare get on the public transportation or the trains over in Chicago, but Chicago is supposed to have somewhat of a relevant public transportation system. The idea behind live, working, and plan or moving closer to your job or whatever is that you don't need a car, or if you have a car, a lot of y'all don't even need a car. Even if you're in a relationship, even if it's two of y'all, you feel like everybody in the house got to have a car. Why? How do you live in New York and you need a car? And then when you get a car, especially if you have a decent one, they got to put bumpers on the front of it, the rails on the front of it, because it's almost a guarantee that your junk going to get nicked up because can't nobody drive in New York. The true cost of something is similar to how I describe it in real estate. Most people jump into a home, but they don't understand the true cost of home ownership. So when they get into these places, a lot of what happens, and I'm going to break it down from a real estate perspective, and then I'm going to go over into your vehicles. A lot of what happens is lifestyle. First and foremost, you're paying too much money because you're paying based off of what you think you can afford from a payment perspective and not based off of how much money you're going to spend in the total cost of home ownership. Interest, PMI, private mortgage insurance, regular insurance, property taxes, maintenance. Property taxes will wallop you. It will absolutely destroy you, especially if you're in a place like Chicago. And I'm not even going to bring Chicago to the front of the congregation today, ironically enough. But all of these things are wealth killers. And when people don't truly take into consideration the true cost of home ownership, I know that they're not looking at it from a business perspective. They're only saying that it's better than this, or I might as well pay a mortgage instead of rent. So they're choosing the worst between two options because they've limited themselves in information and they're not looking at it holistically as to how they can then leverage their situation in order to become better versions of themselves. Even when you think about housing, housing is not supposed to be something that you then become interdependent on in order to satisfy society standards of what it is that you're doing. We say, hey, why you ain't got your own place and so on and so forth. I know people that live in a massive place and they all decide to live together. Obviously, they're not from this culture, but they all decide to live together because they pool their resources, and it allows for them to have more of a family structure, and they have the ability to make sure that everybody has shelter that allows for them to go out and then make more money as a result of it. They're looking at housing based off of what it was purposed for. And then there's other ways to look at it if you want to look at it from a business perspective, but you may not be suited to look at everything from a business perspective because you don't understand real estate and you don't know how to strategize and leverage that in order to become more successful or financially savvy as a result of it, right? Your talent or the thing that you're more suited for may be a little bit different than this person that decided to get into real estate. Some of y'all want to be landlords, but then you're going to become a slumlord and you don't understand how the business works. And so similar to real estate and similar to home ownership, when people don't understand the true cost of home ownership, and so they wind up spending 2 and 3 times more and they paying for it 2 and 3 times more over what it is that they truly purchased the home for, and then they justify it by saying, well, it appreciated, and the alternative is that I was renting, but you don't really understand the game, and so you really not leveraging or getting the most out of your situation. It is for you to have a roof over your head, not necessarily for you to look at it in comparison with somebody else in order to justify your situation. But similarly, when I talk to people, and every single person, they all feel like, I don't care what your situation is. I don't care if you just got out of debt. If your car break down, you're not trying to fix it. You're not going to put it in the shop. You're not going to get no tires for it. You believe that the American dream, and it is your right to have a car and have a car note that go along with it, because most people that get a car note to go along with it. You're not going to get a cheaper car. Your friend's going to convince you you're trying to be socially accepted. You think that somebody is going to look at you differently if you don't have a brand new car, 2024, 23 and all of this other stuff. Man, don't you know that don't nobody care about what you drive? And at the minute that they see you, even if they like your car, they go on and they live their life. And 5 seconds after you walk away, they never think about you again. They're never going to remember you. They're not going to remember your name. They don't care anything about you. And I'm not telling you not to drive nice cars, but I'm telling you, don't let it be the thing that kills your wealth because you think that you need it instead of looking to substantiate it based off of what you need for your lifestyle. Some of you live really close and you could take public transportation. What happened to the bus? Anytime I go to a new city, every time I'm in the city of Detroit, One of the reasons why I'm moving into the city is because I'm no longer going to have to drive a car when I'm splitting my time unless I'm going out to the other place in order for me to be able to maintain and do the things that I really want to do. The worst thing about it is it's 10 times worse than people that don't even understand the true cost of home ownership. Because at least real estate in most markets at most times is an appreciating asset. Your car loses about 10 to 20% of its value the minute that you drive it off the car lot, even if it only got 1,000 miles. You're not buying a Lambo. You're not buying a Bugatti Chiron that's going to appreciate over time. You didn't buy a Ford GT. Fam, you bought a Nissan Altima. You bought a Dodge Charger, right? You bought a Ford Fusion. You bought whatever it is, a Chevy Malibu, an Impala, a Toyota. You bought something that is going to get you to and from. It is for you to get from point A to point B. Now, when you get to the point to where you can truly start to do whatever it is that you want to do because your investments are starting to pay for your lifestyle and you've accumulated a certain net worth, sure, go out, splurge, but stop leveraging cars and thinking that you have to have a car note in order for you to satisfy and justify your existence on this earth for people that don't care anything about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your car. As a matter of fact, you don't even want your car 2 years after having it because it ain't got the new car smell no more. You don't wash it. You don't take care of it. Your disc brakes, your brakes need to be done. Your rotors need to be done. Transmission fluid ain't never been changed. You don't know how to maintain it. That's why some of y'all need an electric car because the maintenance is different. You ain't got to get it on oil changes. You ain't got to get no spark plugs. Some of you need to switch over simply because your lifestyle don't warrant you to be a good steward of something like having a car. You driving a 3,000-pound missile. You ain't got no car insurance, right? The true cost of car ownership is crazy. I've been driving the gas car every single day back and forth getting to where I'm going because both of my cars are in the shop. I had to stop at the gas station like 3 times. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm getting regular. Car insurance, crazy. You don't even have car insurance, a lot of y'all. Gas, maintenance, car note, interest that you paying off on it. Man, it is taking up 33, 40% of some of y'all budget. They say the average car note is approaching over $1,000 a month. That's just the car note. That ain't even all of the other things that you got to pay in order to have it. Registration every single year. Man, let me tell you something, bro. The minute that you start to do things that's in your best interest and stop focusing on what everybody else is saying and whatever everybody, so what, they went and got a new car. That ain't for you at this time. You need to make the adjustment so that you can really get to the bag long term. Connie, why are you feeling some type of way about EVs? If it's not for you, it's not for you. It's for me. I love it. My Porsche Taycan is an awesome EV. I love it. Rita, she loves her Tesla so much so that she don't even want to give it up. I'm talking about getting rid of her car next year and getting something else. She's like, no. I love. For some people, they love it. For some people, it's not for you. Our charging costs are nothing. We're never going to have to replace the battery. It's different for us. But some of y'all is rolling in a F-150 and you can't afford to put $200 every week into your car in order for you to get back and forth to work. It's a fact. Some of you don't need an EV. You don't need a gas-powered car. You need your feet, walk, catch the bus, catch the train, catch the public transportation. You will be able to see different things that you have never seen before, noticing stuff in your city, having a good time, interacting with people, so on and so forth. Some people need to just sit down for 5 seconds and make the adjustment. Home chargers are not you don't need, see, more information. You don't need a home charger. I've never bought a home charger. I just used the one that came with both cars, both the Porsche and that comes with the Tesla. The Tesla, literally, she comes in, she plugs it up, she charges it overnight, it gets the full charge, and she go back and forth, and she get almost 300 miles on a charge. She never, ever has any problem plugging up, and she only charges it up to 80%. Same thing with my Porsche. My Porsche gets over 320 miles on a full charge. I come home, I plug it up, I don't have to get anything installed. It does not cost $7,000. They give you a charger and all of the adjustment and the connectors with it. When I come downtown and I drive here, I get to plug up for free. It's all misinformation. You have no idea what you're talking about. But because you live off of misinformation, this is the way in which you make your decisions on a daily basis. Anyways, stop feeling as though you need to have a car and readjust and take an assessment of what your life is so that you can make better decisions and then you can get this debt paid off and you can start to build wealth. It ain't nothing like looking at it and having a positive net worth. Listen, even if your net worth is $5,000, that means you're above board. You're above water. You're worth more than the average person. If your net worth is $5,000, that means you in a positive. If you can get out of debt and you at zero, that means you can breathe now and you can start to make some adjustments. When you ain't got nothing slowing you down, you ain't got nothing that you're required to pay, but you're doing it because you just can buy stuff as you see fit based off of the fact that your investments is now starting to pay off. It's different. It's different. Somebody said electric cars are great for cities, horrible for long highway trips. That's false. I drove the Tesla from Detroit to Pittsburgh and back and had no problems at all. As a matter of fact, when I bought the Tesla, I bought it and I picked it up in Cleveland and I drove it back to Detroit. And the price of gas is going to continue to go up. Anyways, let me go ahead and get started with the show. I'm going to read a couple super chats and then we're going to get it popping. Craig G says, on my way to the bag, Millionaire Morning Show, get me right every morning. I know it's pronounced Porsche, but I'm black. It's Porsche. I bought it. I can call it what I wanted to. Shout out to Craig G. I appreciate you, big dog. Jamal Fowler says, salute. Shout out to Jamal Fowler in the building. Callie Herzog says, appreciate you covering the Chicago migrant situation. Although majority of the residents voted Biden, this S is getting out of hand. I voted for Trump. Shout out to you for Callie Herzog for supporting the platform. Enforcer 2K9 says, problem is American culture made big houses and fancy cars cool, so nobody thinks they can live without them. All those things come with a cost, though. I was already a millionaire and I was still living for free. That's a fact. My father was the maintenance guy. We moved closer to my mom. We actually left a 5-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom crib in order to go and move closer. And I had got an upgrade. I was doing well in real estate. I had got a promotion. I had became VP of user experience over at a different job and all of that stuff. And they said, well, you can live here for free. It's only me, my chick, and my daughter. 2 bedrooms, little townhouse, 2 doors down from my parents in order to be able to take care of my mother. Father was the maintenance guy. I was like, sign me up, boss. For the next 5 years, we was completely living until my father passed away. And then after he passed away, shortly after he passed away, they was like, all right, y'all got to start paying rent. I was like, all right, well, I guess we got to spend some money now. Now we can start to spend some money. For all of that time, listen, we lived for free for a long time. We lived for free for a long time. You know what it's like to only have to pay a $41 electric bill and a $22 gas bill? Shh. Man, we was finessing the system. Shout out to Enforcer 2K9. Forsaken Archive says, how often do you charge your electric car? Every day. When I drive it and I get home, I plug it up and I keep it moving. I keep it moving. If y'all can figure out a way to live for free and not do van life, then y'all gonna be winning. And get rid of that car. That junk will change your life. You're gonna eliminate 90% of your costs. And don't eat up your paycheck. Miss Tamarez says EV is part of the bigger part against reliance on OPEC. What's your opinion? We need the infrastructure. The world is going this way, and I think that consumers just need options. As long as we built the infrastructure for it, people are going to continue to embrace it. Shout out to Mr. Tamarez. I appreciate you. Jamal Fowler, and I know they want to push against dependence on foreign oil and stuff like that. So Jamal Fowler says, what is important, a good credit score and your net worth? Just asking. What is important, a good credit score or what is more important I'm guessing your net worth. 10 times out of 10. Net worth is 100% 10 times out of 10, way more important than a credit score. Way more important than a credit score. I went broke, got all of my cars repossessed. I went broke in 2008, got all of my cars repossessed. And let me see what the credit score is today. Oh, I got the wrong app. I know my dog Jay Woodfin don't like Credit Karma, but it's an easy way for me to be able to look at certain things. Let me see. There we go. 800 plus. 800 plus. Credit factors. On-time payment history. Less than 10% credit utilization. 0 derogatory marks. 4-year credit age. Net worth is 10 times more. 10 times over. A higher net worth, take it 10 times over. Always focus on your net worth. Credit is just a tool. The comeback is in the building, says, I'm going to drop this in the collection plate. I appreciate you. Wealth Building Journey says, cars are subject to an amortization schedule the same way mortgages are. Amortization schedules have 75% of the interest front-loaded in the first half of the lifespan of the loan. Shout out to the Wealth Building Journey. I appreciate you for holding me down, trying to throw me off with those big words. Stat Sheet Stuffer said, in school for business analytics, but considering switching to engineering technology. What are your thoughts, big homie? Keep up the work. I think you should either go into cloud engineering or cybersecurity. I personally love cloud engineering, but I think cybersecurity is the better one. Business analytics, that don't really, it's okay. At least it's not underwater basket weaving degree, but I would go into cloud engineering or cybersecurity personally. Shout out to you, Stat Sheet Stuffer. AP313 in the building says 2 things. I used the interview like a king, was making $50K, now I'm making $90,000 as a supervisor here in Michigan. This plan is full of immigrants from staffing companies struggling to find workers here. Shout out to everybody that continuously watch all of the content that I drop inside of the Patreon, including the interview like a king. You will get that job and get to the bag as a result of it. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the show. Again, I appreciate you guys continuing to hold me down. I'm going to continue to read super chats throughout the show. Let's get it popping. Oh, hold on. Let me switch this up real quick. Let me make sure I got my stuff, all of my ducks in a row, because I got to get my my clicks right. Do I want to go over to that? All right, let's start over in California. We not going to bring Chicago to the front of the congregation today. We're going to start with Cali. So, California, housing changes. We have a crisis on our hands, and it is happening all across the United States and America. But I think that it's more pronounced over in California. California has been so bad with homelessness. Shout out to Bilderberg. Shout out to the cultivator. I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. California has been so bad with their housing crisis that they have not solved for. And their governor has been so stupid, to put it lightly, that it's now becoming a thing. It's now becoming a tour.
So you've heard of the stories of crime, drug use, and homelessness in San Francisco, and now for only $30, a self-proclaimed expert will take you on a guided tour through the worst of all of it. It's called the Downtown Doom Loop Walking Tour. Tickets for next Saturday were on sale on Eventbrite for $30, but are already sold out. The tour goes through Mid-Market, Tenderloin, Union Square, and City Hall. The description isn't shy about the way it feels about the city, claiming to explore the policy changes that made America's wealthiest city into the nation's leader in mental health crisis. The guide, who only goes by SF Anonymous Insider, says, quote, "We will view the open-air drug markets, the abandoned tech offices, the outposts of the nonprofit industrial complex, and deserted department stores."
San Francisco, California, Oakland, DC. It has gotten so bad on the West Coast specifically and over in California. It has gotten so bad, the housing crisis, that they're now doing a doom loop walking tour in San Francisco. They're capitalizing off of the fact that you can walk down the street and see somebody drop some poop on the ground, and that's just normal now. Businesses have tents in front of their businesses that people can't walk into anymore. Yo, I heard that it's so bad over in California as far as the crime and the homelessness crisis that people are scared to order DoorDash because they don't want to give their addresses, especially if they live in a more affluent community, because they're afraid that people are going to come back and rob them. You can't make this up. See, when you're not a criminal, when you don't live under duress, you don't think about stuff like this. I hear it's so bad over in California that people are afraid to do the Uber Eats, DoorDashes, Grubhubs, whatever like that, because they're afraid that the people that then deliver their food is possibly setting them up to then come back and rob them later on. You can't even order a burger and get it delivered to your crib anymore. That when they go into a department store, a lot of these people then put masks on, and then they have to make sure that they take a crazy way home from these luxury department stores, because it is a thing now that people are following them home and then robbing them of whatever it is that they just purchased. Shout out to Next Level. I appreciate you on Cash App. What kind of world do we live in where this is our norm?
Well, that expert, sounds exciting.
Yeah, right? That expert claims to be an urban policy professional who works as a city commissioner. Proceeds allegedly will go to a nonprofit, but of course, as many people have said, you could also just go there and spend no money, not $30. You could just see all that for free.
You know, so interesting.
Yeah,
it's kind of a weird thing to talk about, but USC and UCLA, whenever they would play Stanford or Cal, it's always a big deal for their fans to go spend the weekend in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Maybe that's why they jumped to the other conference.
Oh, yeah. Now they can go see sunny Indiana.
Look at the news people.
Right, exactly.
The news people is
All right, Breaking Buzz again next Tuesday.
See you next
same
Tuesday,
time,
and I will
same
see you
place.
back here at the 5 p.m. as well.
The news people is running up the score on their own city. That's unfortunate. But the California governor is now allowing for people to do ADUs. They're allowing them to sell. In New York, one of the things that Eric Adams and his administration administered basically was the death of Airbnbs in New York, because they said that they had a housing crisis, they had the migrant crisis, and so in order to encourage people to put more homes on the market for them to have long-term rentals and selling and stuff like that, they decided to get rid of the Airbnb market in order to prevent people from being able to do short-term leases, and instead you can start doing long-term leases. Well, over in California, they're allowing homeowners to start selling ADUs. We'll explain it shortly, but let me break it down for you.
Governor Newsome signed a bunch of new laws designed to help create more housing in California.
Janelle is kind of hot. Hold on. You know, for some reason, these news anchors, they do something. Oh, Anton, don't talk about it. Man, let me tell you something. I'm a man. I got eyes. I didn't know Janelle Wang was going to be over here giving us the news. Okay, Janelle. Less is more. I like the pearl earrings. You got the V out. She's selling it to us. She's selling it to us, yo. Don't get mad at me. She promoting it. I can't stand it when y'all wear all of this skimpy stuff. You got your arms out, got your legs out, got your earrings on, got your cleavage out, and then you tell me don't look. All right, Janelle, break it down for us. Let me start from the beginning.
New laws designed to help create more housing in California. One actually allows homeowners to sell ADUs, also known as in-law units, that are on their property.
I see you, Janelle.
But how will that work? Investigative reporter Hilda Gutierrez joins us now with some answers. Hilda.
We got to focus.
Yes,
hey, fellas. Janelle ain't fine enough for us to forego the bag. We got to focus so I can teach y'all about what ADUs are, okay?
Are often converted garages or a separate small building behind a larger home. Under the new law, owners of those properties can sell the attached or separate housing units, applying the same rules as selling a condo. For example, the main home and ADU will have 2 different property taxes and get separate utility bills for water, sewer, gas, and electricity. Each property might also have to form a homeowners association.
So, I'm going to let them finish, but let me basically break it down for you. If you are a property owner, and let's just say, for example, you have a home, and then you have a backyard, you are now allowed to sell a portion of your land, basically, in order to build another piece of property that California can now tax, and they're calling it an ADU. So basically, you selling a part of your backyard, you selling your garage, you building something on your property, and then now there's going to be 2 separate property taxes, which adds to the coffers. It adds to the coffers of California so they can continue to raise money in order to go and fumble it on things that's not relevant to society, right? But also on top of that, you have separate homeowners association fees. You now have separate utility prices or utility costs and all of that. So now in order to solve for some of the homelessness crisis and to add more affordability to people not living on the street and doing van life, they basically separating their backyards in order to create another piece of living space for you. And you're going to have to pay property taxes on that also. It's called an additional dwelling unit, I believe.
To assess dues to maintain shared space, such as a driveway, a pool, or a common roof. The state housing department reports that 1 in every 5 new housing units built in the state today is an ADU. Check out how many were just added to homes in the Bay Area or are in the process of being added. We looked up ADU applications by county and found Santa Clara had the most with over 2,200 ADU applications in 1 year, followed by Alameda and San Mateo County, San Francisco.
Now, you got to also remember that this also calls for, and it keeps money circulating within the state. Well, how does that happen, Anton? Well, you got to hire construction crews. You got to build these units. You have to build them up to code. You got to pull permits. You got to go back and forth in order to get this stuff approved. You got to get it written off, signed off. Jose says we turn it into a garage in the studios here in Fort Lauderdale, and they're going for $1,200. I talk to people on coaching calls all the time, and they say, Anton, keep me updated on what it is that you're experiencing as far as building these places in order for us to be able to do the same thing, except for we're just going to section off a piece of the yard that we have for our multi-unit property and see if we can build an additional dwelling unit in order to increase the profitability of owning this land, owning this space.
Assembly member Phil Ting, who drafted the legislation, says this will give more people home ownership opportunities.
And that's how they're going to sell it.
This does a couple things. It increases the number of housing units throughout the state because ADUs are smaller and because you oftentimes share that property with another neighbor. They come a little bit cheaper, so they're cheaper to rent. They're also cheaper to purchase should they be sold.
Now, this is important. The new law allows local cities to allow the buying and selling of ADUs, so they have to opt in. Ting says ADUs are already being sold separately, sometimes for up to 30% of the entire home value in state.
So basically, people had already been renting out their garages and converting their spaces over there in order for you to be able to survive, because a lot of people over there in California, they got roommates. They can't really afford the places on their own. It'd be 4 or 5 different people that don't even know each other, all living in a house together, right? But basically, the state is saying, we want our cut. We want our cut. So this is how they're selling it to you. Hey, guys, we're going to allow for you to then build an ADU or sell an ADU, which is another form of affordable housing, from our property in order to ease the homelessness crisis and make things available to the people. So they're not building more houses actually They're not going the traditional route of home ownership. They're not doing any of that. Nah, I'm going to pass on Hilda, Sam to God. Hilda not really my thing. I mean, if I had just got out of prison and I had did a dime and I hadn't did anything and I don't have no prospects and I'm just trying to figure it out, yeah, we'll take Hilda. We'll take that down. You know what I'm saying? We get back on our feet. Shout out to Hilda. But nah, Hilda's not really my thing. I'm more into the dark ladies. You know what I'm saying? I like the dogness. I like dogness. But basically, the state is saying that we want our cut. We want our cut. We want the ability to continue to tax you. And taxes is everywhere. Taxes is, listen, there has never been a bigger scam than taxes. Ever. Because you're taxed not just what it is that you make, but you're taxed based off of your living space and your dwelling. You taxed when you go out to eat and the amount of money that they put on top of it in order for you to continue to get food. You're taxed when you hire people and then you have to get unemployment taxes and you got to pay payroll tax. You're taxed. And every single thing, every product that you buy, every plane ticket that you get, every time you go to the gas station, they taxing you. When you play the lottery, they're taxing you. They're going to take more than half of everything that you make. And so all they're doing is taxing you to death. Everything that you do, over half of everything that you do in life is taxes. Way more than half. This is just another way for them to be able to tax you. And this is one of the reasons why I keep telling y'all it's important for y'all to tap in, for you to align yourself with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in order to better understand how you can reduce the amount of money that they already taken out of your budget, out of your government check. Shout out to Hilda. Why would you name your kid Hilda? So California is now finessing y'all and they selling y'all ADUs. And they telling you that it's some form of affordable housing in order for them to ease the crisis, but it's not. It's a way for them to continue to fill the coffers, and they're going to market it to you that way in order to keep Gavin Newsome inside of office. And I think that Gavin Newsome is quite possibly the worst governor in the United States of America, but Brandon Johnson is the worst mayor in the United States of America, but we gonna get there, and y'all keep voting them in, and then y'all complaining about it as a result of it. But we're going to get there. And so ADUs is something that California is leveraging, and they're taxing you on it, and you will continue to pay for it. All right. But on top of that, before I continue to read the super chats, on top of that, this is what else that California is doing. Okay. I've been paying attention to this story for over a year now. And there's been legislation out here in California for fast food workers to make a minimum of $20 to $25 an hour. I said, oh my God. Why is that important to Anton? Why did that even hit my desk? Why did that hit my desk? Well, it hit my desk because I'm trying to figure out how that affects inflation, how that affects the different companies that I may be invested in. One of my favorite companies, for example, is McDonald's. Shout out to Next Level on Cash App. I'm trying to understand how this affects us all and how we will suffer or be successful as a result of it. I need to know. It's an accessory dwelling unit. Shout out to my dogs out there. $20 an hour for fast food workers. Minimum. Well, GK says $20 an hour is poverty here anyway, but you're not getting it. They're going to pass the cost over to consumers, and so the same way that $15 an hour that y'all was advocating for and protesting for out here in all of these different states and all of these fast food places, and now it's $20 an hour, and next year it's going to be $30 an hour. And you're always going to still be in the same. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. Let me go ahead and share this with you guys. This is what was happening over a year ago and what McDonald's was saying and communicating, and that they was having a problem with.
After After months of rallies across California, the new legislative victory for fast food workers could transform the industry and significantly impact the wages earned by hundreds of thousands of low-paid workers.
I'm overjoyed. I never thought to be part of a movement like this.
Under the bill, employees like Evelyn Barrias could easily make up to $22 an hour starting next year, and an annual cost of living adjustment.
So COLA, the exact same thing that the UAW members are fighting for, and also the casino workers here in Detroit, COLA, which is called a cost of living adjustment, is short for it. I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. They are now going to be making about $22 an hour. This is the thing that they were fighting for. So you got to remember, this video that we're looking at right here is a year ago. This is over a year old. I know the likes is looking anemic, but I need y'all to get them up. This is over a year ago. This is what they were fighting for.
I have 4 children. We're barely making ends meet to pay for our apartment. It would change my life completely.
Still in need of the governor's approval, the measure is a major step towards sectoral bargaining.
Question. Just a question. I'm not judging. I won't judge. I'm just asking. If you can't take care of yourself, and I'm always just curious, how do y'all have time to be pumping out 4 kids? Just a question. If you don't have the capacity to be able to take care of yourself, how do you have time to take care of 4 children? Just a question. Why does it then become our responsibility in order to ensure that your kids is taken care of? Just curious. Just curious. Why are we now responsible for the well-being of your children? They're yours. They're your children. Nobody told me that I had to have kids. Nobody told me that I had to have kids.
Bargaining, which gives workers a seat at the table with employers. Rare in the United States, only sectors like auto manufacturing use similar negotiations.
This bill brings equity for Black and Latino fast food workers up and down the state of California. It means that they can both put food on the table and gas in the tank.
Impacting restaurant chains with at least 100 locations nationwide, experts believe raising wages will increase salaries for those in other sectors like retail. Some argue it also comes at a cost.
They're trying to say that this is a trickle-up event.
What's the impact for customers?
Yeah, I think customers are going to see a 20% effective food tax on menu items just to pay for this bill.
Tonight, the fight over fast food laws and its impact on both sides of the counter. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
So what they're basically telling you, and what's actually not being communicated over to you, is also that, and remember, that was a year ago. So now we're going to bring you up to date on what's going on today, is that this is one of the contributing factors of inflation. Just because you're perceived to be making more money does not mean that you're going to be living the American dream. All right?
New 5 fast food workers in California will soon get a boost in pay after Governor Gavin Newsome signed a law today that raises their minimum wage.
Fox 11's Marla Tejas here with details. Marla.
It's going to be life-changing for a lot of people, right? So starting next year, fast food workers will get about a $5 an hour raise, getting paid at least $20 per hour. This is after a new law was signed today by Governor Newsome.
80% of the workforce in these fast food places, 80% are people of color. Two-thirds are women. The majority are breadwinners. And we have the opportunity to reward that contribution, reward that sacrifice.
Governor Newsome today speaking in Los Angeles at SEIU Local 721 before a crowd of labor leaders and some of this state's 557,000 fast food employees. This new law bumps fast food workers' average wage of $16.60 an hour to $20 an hour, effective April 1st, 2024. It applies to workers at restaurants that have at least 60 locations nationwide, including, of course, Jack in the Box, where Anisha Williams makes a living, earning, for now, $17 an hour.
We didn't talk to legislators, senators. Little old me, Anisha Williams, mother of 6, never thought that I can move mountains with the...
Jesus Christ. Anisha, Nisha, are you with me? Are you riding? Nisha, what is wrong with you, boo? What's up, baby? What's up, baby girl? Why do you have 6 kids and you're working at Jack in the Box and you think that this is a career? Where do we go wrong in this country? Where did we go wrong in this country? Why does she make... Oh, my God. Anisha, that is not supposed to be your life, boo. That's not you.
The help and the support of so many people and told us no. But guess what? We told them, yes, we can.
The new law also creates a fast food council that has the power to increase the wage each year through 2029 by 3.5%. Now, currently, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reports California fast food workers earn just over $34,000 a year, which is below the poverty measure for a family of 4. In all, the $20 an hour wage will impact some 30,000 locations statewide. And once it does take effect in April, fast food workers here will have among the highest minimum wages in this country. The state's minimum wage for all other workers, $15.50 per hour, is already among the highest in the U.S.
Now, chains, McDonald's owners, small business owners, so on and so forth, because this is going to be across the board. This is not just to the McDonald's places. This is not just to the corporations. You're not sticking it to the man. These are going to go to the franchisees, the rallies, all of that, right? And they saying that on average, this is going to add about $250,000 in additional costs to be able to run a business. An additional $250,000 in additional costs to run a business. Let me give you Gavin Newsome's speech about this whole thing, all right? Who I think is one of the worst governors in the United States of America, but not for me to judge. That's for you guys to evaluate. I don't live over in California. Look at this guy. When y'all gonna stop letting these politicians pander to y'all for votes? Reading super chat shortly.
For the record, that bike Anisha is referring to was a Harley Davidson. Let me, I brought the bill. But I also brought a few thoughts that I want to share. You know, it feels like yesterday I got a call from Mary Kay. I had just been elected governor of California. She said, I have to come out and visit you. I said, we can talk on the phone. She said, I have to come out and visit you. There's something we need to talk about. And she seeded this moment. And she also educated me on how long she had been working to advance this cause and this moment. State after state. And she said, you know, maybe, just maybe California, maybe this state can move the bar a little higher. We can move this needle. Then COVID hit. And it's sort of
talking about the same vid that you was caught without a mask on while you was putting these crazy mask mandates on everybody else. Don't worry about it. Y'all forgot about that. We're going to continue.
Set back a little bit of our own expectations, the moment. But in that moment, we realized that it actually launched this effort forward because we saw all of you show up. Some of you that were fired, some of you that were rehired at lower wages. We saw the abuse, we saw the inequities in terms of the wages and the treatment, and we realized we had a responsibility.
Y'all love to be pandered to.
Step up, and as a consequence of that, we were able to put together the coalition. But Anisha, you made a point about your own advocacy, and it's absolutely true. But I look around this room and I'm reminded of that old African proverb says, you want to move fast, move alone. But if you want to go far, you got to go together.
Y'all going for this? Just curious. Are y'all going for this? Is this going to change y'all life? Is this going to put y'all in a better space? Is this going to help y'all get to the next level? Are y'all going to level up as a result of it? Y'all rolling with it? Is this what y'all want? Y'all got y'all camera phones up? Y'all advocating for it in the background?
And it took the coalition of all of you to make this happen, to create the conditions. And so I'm really proud. We love to say, and the majority leader made this point, and Mr. Chair, I call him, the Assemblymember Holden, made this point. The future happens here first, California. We're America's coming attraction. This is a state, in the spirit of what both Davids said, is a state that prides itself not only being on the leading cutting edge, but we recognize businesses cannot thrive in a world that's failing. And that's an important point because we're not just about growth. This state's about inclusion. And that's the foundational.
Is it diversity, equity, inclusion? Yo, this is the biggest crock of bull that I've ever seen in my entire life. If this is not an opportunity for this man to continue to steal y'all votes, I don't know what is. And y'all fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker. You fall for it in Chicago. You fall for it over in California. You fall for it over in D.C. You fall for it in New York. You fall for it all the way across the board. And these people continue to finesse y'all, and they get y'all votes, and they get y'all money, and they take everything from you. And then they say, here's these crumbs that you're going to continue to pay taxes on. Oh, by the way, inflation is continuing to go up. So your 15 that really went to 20 to 22 is not going to really help you. Meanwhile, we saddling business owners with additional taxes. And, just one more caveat. You're not supposed to depend on this for the rest of your life. This was supposed to be the job that you got out of high school or help you get through college or put you in a great space, and then you're supposed to grow out of it. But this is the thing that you're advocating for. And basically, they're saddling you with mediocrity, and you're going to thank them for it. You're going to tether yourself to the federal government in order for them to continue to make you feel good about yourself, knowing that they do not have your best interests at heart, but you going. You going. You are absolutely, positively going. You going. You in. You all in. Give it to me. Show me the money. Where is it at? How can I continue to be in the Victim Olympics? I won't in. Tell me, Mr. Gavin, how can I be a part of whatever it is that you got going on? I can't believe that y'all just continue to fall for this hook, line, and sinker every single time without fail, and nobody is even incentivizing you to do so. They now have empowered you to do it on your own. $22 an hour. And then this is the reason why the union, why UAW is over there striking, because they're like, hey, we're the fabric of America. One thing I know about business owners, though, is that they always figure it out.
Principle we're advancing here today. And I can assure you, this wasn't easy. If the reporters are out there, please know this. This wasn't easy. There are 100 plus hours in the last few months negotiating this referendum off the ballot. That was a tectonic plate that had to be moved. It was a profoundly consequential prospect.
Gotcha.
Tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars would have been spent on that ballot to roll back the progress that the assembly members had made and advanced last year in SEIU. But we were able in good faith to negotiate that off the ballot. Once this signature is affixed to the bill.
So basically what he just told y'all is this. I'm the man. Vote for me. Look at what I did for y'all over here in California. And they always go for the lowest hanging fruit. You know why? Because they tend to be the ones that's the least educated about what's really happening, which then empower them to continue to stay in office and for them to do the thing that's not in the best interest of the community. This is nothing but a new form of socialism that then penalizes the people that create the jobs and also incentivizes you to continue to stay in mediocrity. Unreal. And you have people that are saying, hey, I have 6 kids. I deserve this working at Jack in the Box, and I can't believe that we haven't ate the rich faster than we already are. Why should they do anything different if this is the thing that y'all empowering? Listen, think about it. Y'all voted for these people that are then making these laws. I don't know if it just so happened to be us over here at the Millionaire Morning Show that tend to have some sense. We got over 2,000 people in here right now. We must not have too much sense because the likes are still low. I don't know if it's just the people over here that have the million. Listen, they're giving you poverty. They're making you stay in somebody else's backyard. They're saying that they're raising the rates for you to continue to work these menial jobs. They're bringing over and letting migrants come into your city. They're busing them to your city. You're voting for your own demise every single day. Do you know that most presidents don't even campaign the way that they're supposed to in other states? They go to Rhode Island. They come up here to Michigan. They go to Florida. They don't even really tap into the places that's meaningful because they already know what California going to vote like. They know what you already... It's nothing to offer you because they've already got you tethered to them, and you don't even have golden handcuffs on. You just got handcuffs on. You got zip ties on. You have zip ties on, and you continue to love to put yourself in the worst position possible because nobody will make you do the thing that's in your own best interest. They already know California is going blue. They already know how you're going to vote. Do you know why politicians don't really speak to the black community unless they know that you're the swing voters? You know why politicians often say stuff like, if you're not voting for me, then you're not black? You know why they don't really come into you know why they don't go over to Illinois and make a pitch to the state and then incentivize y'all to vote for them? You know why they don't give you anything? You know why they don't meet you at the negotiating table in order to be able to vet out a fact? I'll give you an example. Ice Cube did the whole plan where he wanted to have a conversation with both sides of the aisle, and black people killed him for it. The culture killed him for it. The chicks that's on, what was it, Cocktails with Queens, Vivica Fox and Lisa Ray and all of them, they drilled him for it. And they never even came and had a conversation with Cube, even though they said that they was after they won the election. They never came back and kicked it with you. You know why? Because they already know what you're going to do. Hey, listen, man, them people over there, give them a couple crumbs. They going to shut up for the next 2 or 3 years until it's some other thing. It's going to be some cop over here that profiles somebody. And so we going to make them the villain. We're going to go over to the African-American Museum. We're going to put on our kente kente cloths. We're going to kneel in front of them. And then we're going to make them make sure that they continue to make us rich. And we're going to be their saviors. We're going to create the problems for them. And then we're going to save them from their problems, allegedly. And then we're going to continue to run y'all up. Santedra says, Anton is conservative in his views. You conservative in your lifestyle and you don't even know it. We were conservative with the ways that we looked at things, and we've been conservative for a long time, but we vote based off of liberal policies, and then we get mad at ourselves or we get mad at society when they start to implement these policies that's not in our best interest. Case in point, California. Case in point, Chicago. Case in point, San Francisco. Case in point, Oakland. Case in point, DC. Case in point, New York. Case in point, all of these different places. And then when y'all go over to Texas, y'all can't understand why they don't even want y'all there. They say, listen, we don't want y'all from California over here. We don't need no. Texas is full. Texas is full. Texas is full. If y'all states are so awesome, let me go on my little rant, then we're going to move over to the next thing. If y'all states are so awesome, why y'all keep leaving them? If it's so good where you at, why do you keep leaving a place where you at in order to go over to the place that you don't like? Why is everybody leaving Atlanta? Why is everybody leaving Chicago? Why is everybody trying to move from over in California? Why is there an exodus happening over in New York? If y'all love it so much, why y'all not staying? Skip that, man. I'm going for where the jobs are. I'm going for where the houses is more affordable. I'm going where they got better policies and stuff. And then you bring your same mindset and your voting over into the place and turn it into the place that you ran away from. Mindset. It's not just enough to get to the bag. It's also important for you to change your mindset when you're starting to move over into these places because they don't want you there. They don't want you ghetto. They don't want your bad habits. They don't want your liberal policies. They don't want the way in which you're trying to change the church. They don't want the way in which you're trying to change the business codes. They don't want the way in which you're trying to enable crime. You're running away from it. So while you think that they want what it is that you come from, don't worry. We going to get there. Oh, we going to get there. Let me read a couple of these super chats and then we're going to continue over with the show. The Cultivator says, what do you think about the effects of resource and EV battery materials on poor villagers? Are you talking about the way in which they mine out the materials or the rare earth minerals and all of this stuff? They do the same things to your phones. The same materials and minerals that they need in order to... Y'all need to watch this movie on Netflix with Jonah Hill and a chick from the Hunger Games, and the world was ending, and it was a company like Apple that could have stopped, or NASA could have stopped the world from ending by blowing up the comet that was coming towards Earth. But then they did an analysis and they realized that it was a lot more rare earth materials on that comet, so they was going to blow it into different things and then try to navigate it over into the Earth, and they wound up blowing us all up. We all going towards our own demise anyway. The same things that's in your phones, the same things that's in these computers, the same things that's in the batteries. It's all destructive. We just watching our own demise. Shout out to you, Cultivator. So I think that I'm here for the ride. Bilderberg Boy says, good morning, AD. I was able to negotiate a monthly $400 gas allowance from my 9-to-5 with my 6-figure salary. It's called Don't Look Up. Yep, that's what it's called. Don't Look Up. I'm still looking to go EV just in case I decided to leave. For your information, I'm only in the office 3 days a week. Shout out to Bilderberg Boy. Continuing to get that bag. I appreciate all of my bag chasers. The Comeback is in the building, 0520. Thank you, my friend, for dropping that off. I appreciate you. Anthony M is in the building, says, hope you have a blessed day. Just join the Patreon. Want to say thank you for the gems. Has me thinking about what I can do with the van I just bought. Whenever you start to buy something, always justify it from a business perspective. If you can't justify it from a business perspective, then be very, very careful of why it is that you're purchasing it in the first place. Pat 5 says, imagine sucking so much at life that you're trying to survive off of flipping burgers. Kid jobs. Jacquel PF says, new show on YouFlix, Spanish is the new black. I'm going to have to check that out. Never heard of it before. Never even heard of YouFlix before. That must be something new. Brittany B says, little old me, mother of 6, I can move mountains and cervixes. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Look, I'm all for unions, but fast food unions? No, Britt. You got to roll with it. If you for unions, you got to be for unions all the way across the board. 86 Train is in the building. Shout out to you. Says, first, you want to have 4 children, and then begging about barely making decent checks to support them. Backwards. Big love to you, Anton. Thank you, my dog, 86 Train. I appreciate you for holding me down. Aaron Woe was in the building, says, you'll see 2 people, and they're one for when the system go down and one to mop robots. Will take these jobs. That's why I'm moving into cybersecurity, and you are a very smart man as a result of it, Aaron. Let me tell you. Rashad in the building says, fast food restaurants will pull out of Cali. I don't know what's going to happen out here in these streets. Anthony Gordon says, what's really funny is that I wouldn't even accept a job for $22 an hour. That's because you're a bag chaser. That's because you a bag chaser. You know what I'm saying? Prince Elian is in the building, says minimum wage was enacted to price out black workers. Now it is being used to price out teens in entry-level jobs and create legalized low-income slaves. I appreciate you for contributing to the platform. Let's continue. We got a couple more things that we want to cover before I get y'all out of here for the day. Philly. Philly, 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 Philly. Philly. Philly, 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 Philly. Have y'all ever had a Philly cheesesteak? Have y'all had a cheesesteak from Philly? Because Philly is no longer known as the cheesesteak capital. You know what Philly is known for? Simps, pimps, drug dealers, and stolen cars. Simps, pimps, drug dealers, and stolen cars. I heard that they got some kind of initiative where they're trying to clean up Kensington Avenue temporarily. Philly, 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 Philly. Shout out to Philly. Where the police commissioner, the woman said, I'm leaving Philly and I'm going over to greener pastures in order to work at the docks over there in New York. Said 50 years old working at McDonald's. Anton, can I take your order? Yes, you can. And I want my fries hot, 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 hot. I want my fries hot. Let's get it popping over in Philly, y'all.
The number of cars stolen in Philadelphia has never been higher.
It is an historic figure right now that police say is so big it can't be tackled without better technology. Chief investigative reporter Joe Holden found the Philadelphia Police Department is seriously lacking the tools to curb stealing cars.
Sonny Smith's brand new Kia was stolen right out front of his home at 5th and York in North Philadelphia.
I got up that morning, I looked at my camera, I took a double look, I said, my car gone. I came outside, glass in the street. I said, I didn't stole it.
And then
shout out to the Kia boys. Kia boys is on the prowl. Kia boys is out here on the prowl. They said, I want your car, I got to have it. I want you, and I got to have you. Ain't nothing like waking up to go outside, to go to work in the morning, and you are a tax-paying citizen, a law-abiding citizen, and you see glass on the ground for somebody that don't even value your stuff that you worked so hard to get.
Later that same day, Smith was in disbelief again.
The kicker was, I had got a rental from my insurance company, the same car. Me and my wife sitting here watching TV, 12 o'clock at night. I said, I know, excuse my French, I know, well, they're not trying to get that car. Damn it, they didn't try it.
You know it's bad when your car gets stolen, you got insurance, you get the rental car, and then you wake up that very same night and they said, oh, snap, 2 for 1? This is a buy one, get one free. This is a buy one, get one free. I can't wait. Listen, Mr. Johnson over here in Philadelphia, we know you a hardworking man, but you work for us now. You work for us now. You are going to go and get both cars, and then we going to make sure that we come out here and get them both.
I jumped up. I said, give me my gun.
Smith says by the time he got outside, those would-be thieves,
these young dummies around here,
were gone.
Gone.
But this time without his car, unlike a day earlier. Records and data uncovered by CBS News Philadelphia show the number of stolen cars this year in the city has skyrocketed and is approaching 17,000. That figure shatters all previous records.
So listen. The crime wave is not just happening in Chicago. Don't worry. I'm sure Chicago is going to bring themselves back to the front of the congregation. The crime wave is not just happening in St. Louis with the Golden Arches. The crime wave is not just happening in Portland and Seattle and San Francisco, and business owners and law-abiding citizens are making sure that they paying their taxes and ain't going to work every day. It is a record number of vehicles that is getting stolen over here in Philly.
Do you think there was something wrong with those numbers?
I certainly had to double check, Joe. Yeah, absolutely.
It was because the numbers were staggering.
Commanders with the Philadelphia Police Department tell CBS News Philadelphia there have been improvements in some categories of crime, but not stolen cars. Take, for instance, the data and numbers. In 2020, those stolen cars were 26% higher than the year before. Then it was 21%. Then last year, 36%. But now for this year alone, not even close to through, and we're almost 40% more stolen cars than last year.
Do I need to go and visit Philly? All right, listen. Maybe I need to put a poll in the chat. Y'all want me to go and visit Chicago and see what's going over there with the migrant crisis? Or y'all want me to go over there to Philly and see the security guards walking around with guns in order for you to be able to order a cheesesteak? I know that no matter what it is that when I leave the airport, and maybe I need to get security to go with me and see what's happening out here in these streets, I know that I have to be very, very careful because I don't want them to be able to take advantage of me, not a little old Anton. I got Teach Hanley commercials to shoot. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That link is in the description. Also tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat.
I couldn't believe the number of stolen autos that I was
Believe it, buddy.
On a related note,
Captain Jason Smith heads Philadelphia's major crimes unit.
This is one of the only crime categories that we're losing.
The veteran commander says his detectives picked up on a pattern after a video surfaced on social media last year. A literal how to steal a car involving turnkey ignition vehicles, Hyundais and Kias, just like Sonny Smith's car.
Where was the car parked?
Right here, where he's standing.
And it was a Kia.
And
you had heard about the Kias. They have this unfortunate, easy...
Well, I heard about it afterwards.
Yeah.
I went on TikTok and they showed you how to do it.
Does that shock you?
Yes, it shocked me. I said, why would the government even allow them to put that on there?
How to steal a car.
Exactly.
In fact, Kias and Hyundais account for 62% of all stolen cars in the city.
The numbers are overwhelming. Now, with these Kias and these Hyundais, what we are seeing is that the majority of our arrests do involve juveniles.
Hyundais. I'm gonna be reading that super chat shortly.
And again, like this, that's who's drawn to these, these TikTok videos, and that's where they're.
No, it'd be grown people watching these TikTok videos, buddy.
Police say every single day, several dozen cars are stolen. The 15th Police District, which includes Mayfair, is hardest hit.
This will be broken out, and again, they're very hard to get right now.
Auto body shops contacted by CBS News Philadelphia for this investigation called the rate of stolen cars crazy. They're swamped with business, but it's not a boom. At Mike's Auto Body Shop in the Northeast, managers there say once cars are recovered and brought in for repair, there's a long wait for Kia and Hyundai parts from the car maker.
And they can't tell you if it has been made yet, if it's sitting on a boat somewhere in the Pacific, if it's on its way from California to here. So I can't really communicate with the customer and say, we're talking 3 weeks, we're talking 9 weeks. It's one of those anomalies.
Investigators.
So basically what y'all telling me is that I got to be careful if I got a Kia or a Hyundai. I got a Hyundai. Look, I drove one in today. I'm having a good old time. I ain't never had one problem. It ain't even got 10,000 miles on it. Y'all actually was the ones that picked it for me. I got me a Hyundai. You see this? That big old H right there? Might not be able to see it with the lights. See my Hyundai? That's my Hyundai. Look at this. Boop. Beep. Boop. Look how sweet I am. I drive a Hyundai. I'm a regular person just like you. Y'all saying I need to gird up. Make sure that I watch out for the Kia boys because I don't want them out here trying to finesse me out of a bag. But y'all got other car problems out there in Philly too. I heard it's rough in Philly. I heard it's rough over in Philly. I heard that it's tough, rough and tough since some Afro puffs. Now rock on with your bad self.
A pregame town hall in South Philly tonight. Police opening the door for neighbors to ask them questions and to tell them what's on their mind.
Some in the community say they're dealing with a problem that's impacting their quality of life. Steve, what's going on?
Oh, hold on, Steve. Steve. Steve, are you trying to be a French model? Bonjour. Wait. You're not telling me that who over here, who from Philly? Philly, let me bring y'all to the front of the congregation. I have not cursed one time during this live stream. I have not cursed. I have not cursed one time. I have been on my best behavior. I have fulfilled all of my promises and making sure that I do not curse one time on this live stream. Steve Keeley, how many of y'all are familiar with Steve over there in Philly? Who from Philly that's familiar with Steve? Steve dressed like this all the time? He over there with a leather jacket on and a wife beater and a tan. And a lace front. Oh, Steve said, I'm a bad bee. And my booty hole brown. I'm sorry. We got to get on with the show. What's happening over in Philly? What they giving y'all? What's in that fentanyl over in Philly? What they putting in the water? Who told Steve to come out here with a wife beater on and a leather jacket on the news? This how the news reporters is doing it on now? Good grief.
Yeah, it was a surprising issue for me that I didn't know about till I was at this meeting. Now, traditionally, for years and even decades, South Philadelphians have found free, safe parking right under I-95.
And his wet set is laid, sprayed, and to the side. Okay, Steve.
For miles. But
y'all news reporters going to stop distracting me and we're going to start getting to the story.
Now, suddenly, so have a few other people.
An absolute mess. An absolute mess.
South Philadelphia residents came out tonight to tell police and public officials about a different kind of tailgating going on right under their noses and right under I-95. People living in broken down cars and even in Winnebagos now parked along Front Street. We saw cars with all their windows covered from the inside. One car even with a gas can next to the driver's door, a bucket next to the passenger door, and a generator on its roof.
People living in cars, they cook with barbecues, everything.
People with generators on the roof living in the car, what are they generating in there? Is it heat? That's dangerous if they've got a small heater in there. I mean, it's a quality of life issue for us, and it's a quality of life issue for the people who are living.
People in Philly. You got to watch the Kia Boys. But you know why you got to watch the Kia Boys? It ain't because your insurance is going to go up and nothing. They trying to steal your home now. There is an outbreak of people that are now living in their cars, and sometimes the cars are broken down. Listen. It's getting worse every day. It's unprecedented. The amount of poverty that is happening across the United States of America, and it is getting cold outside. Did you know that I believe that the stat was like, it was something crazy, like 47,000 evictions in Atlanta since the beginning of the year. And they just really getting started because the moratorium just ended. So people that's getting evicted is going to skyrocket. In Atlanta alone, it was some crazy number. I forgot what the number was. I just was informed of it, and it was updated today. There was like a ton, like tens of thousands of people that is evicted. And that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, okay, well, if you go over to Atlanta, the freeways is full during the daytime. Everybody out here wearing Balenciaga. Where everybody working at? Yo, to be living in your car, especially if you have children or you in a relationship or whatever like that, and you just in survival mode, and meanwhile they over here trying to have a conversation with you about the cost of living, inflation, and all of this stuff. Y'all not paying attention. Y'all don't realize that homelessness and single parent households is the precursor to a suffering lifestyle for your children for the rest of your life. It is bad out here. It is bad. I was pissed at myself the other day over the weekend, or was that last week? Because I had finessed myself basically out of $8,000. I had lost $8,000 as a part of some of the processes that I was going through as far as building these properties. But then I was thinking to myself, $8,000 don't hurt me. I'm very blessed because I've made smarter decisions in my life. It rains on the just and the unjust. But my point is this: if people are living in their cars, especially in places where the weather is not going to be ideal the further we go into winter, and you got the possibility of getting your home stole because you live in your car, that means that all of your personal belongings, if y'all have never seen homelessness, and I'm not talking about passing them on the street, I'm not talking about working in the soup kitchen during Thanksgiving. I've done a lot of volunteer work. I spent over a year, 52 weeks straight, working with homeless people voluntarily, just to better understand it, because it was a passion project of mine. And it's something that I largely forgot about, and I didn't continue to follow through with creating resources for it, but maybe one day I'll pick it up. I'm gonna bring myself to the front of the congregation. If you don't understand homelessness is not, the face of homelessness is not just the drug addict and nothing like that. Most people that are homeless were one paycheck away from losing everything. Lifestyle, decisions that they made in their life eventually caught up with them. I've learned that one of the biggest problems with homelessness is that they can't, and they have to figure out a way to protect their belongings as they go about doing whatever it is that they're going to do throughout the day. And the biggest problem is not necessarily what they're going to eat. It's not where they're going to sleep. It's whether or not they're going to get their stuff stolen. Even if they take their shoes off at night, even if they're in a shelter, a lot of times they're very worried about the idea that their shoes are going to be gone. Now imagine you living in your car and your car gets stolen. Imagine you living in your car and your car gets stolen. If you've never ever seen somebody with a homeless person that has a coat that then is designed to double as a blanket so that they can sleep in it at night, then you've never ever truly understood what it takes in order to survive on a day-to-day basis. And you telling me that y'all can't make the right adjustments in order to make the right lifestyle decisions, and you sitting here crying about what the federal government ain't doing for you and reparations and all of this other type of stuff. All you got to do is make the adjustments, make smarter decisions, and do things that's in your best interest, and you can't even do that? People would kill to be in your position.
There. I understand that we need to have social services involved, but we have rights too, and it comes to a point where if you're going to go out to somebody 20 times and ask them to relocate, and then you're going to tell me we can't do anything? Well, you can't do anything.
The area generally gets run down as a result of people living in those cars because they don't have the ability to go anywhere else, either to use the facilities or to put their garbage somewhere that'll be picked up responsibly. And I think this just multiplies the issue.
Yep. We know that it's illegal to live in a vehicle, and I think what we're trying to do is engage them with homeless services, offering them help. If they do not take those services, they need to move on, right? When we need to move on, we can't have them under 95 living there.
Well, no one in any of the cars living in these places under I-95 came out of those cars to talk to us tonight, including whoever's living in that Chrysler 200 over there.
Now, why would they come out there and talk to you in order to show their face and they living in their car? Why would they come out to talk to you in order to be put on the news and they living in their car? Jesus Christ. Shout out to Steve Keeley over there in Philadelphia that's doing some great reporter work with his wife beater and his pleather jacket on.
Tires, the front and back end smashed, and that generator up on the roof right across the street from both Target and the Acme here in South Philly.
And you know why it's across the street from Target? So that they can go and wash up and use the bathroom and be able to use their services, which then turns it into the same thing that California has been dealing with for an extended period of time.
Sheba, Jason?
Yeah, I know exactly where that is, Steve. So what happens now?
Well, it's hard to feel sorry for the people living with the folks in the cars, or the people actually living in the cars. Who do you feel sorry for more, or do you feel sorry for them both at the same time? And that is the city's dilemma right now.
What is Steve wearing? I can't even take this story serious because he got a dad bod, but he's strong at the top, a leather jacket that is not keeping him, a pleather jacket that's not keeping him warm. He got a tan, Did they catch him at the wrong time of the night and he just woke up and started going out there and reporting on this story? Steve, I'm not taking you serious. Shout out to Steve Keeley. Hey, y'all gonna have to get me a retired Chippendales model. Y'all gonna have to get me hip to what's going on. Oh, y'all got something in y'all fentanyl. Y'all got something in y'all fentanyl over there at over in Philly. Shout out to Philly. Let me read a few of these super chats and then I'm gonna get on to the last thing that I want to talk to y'all about. Zach says, let's profile 100% chance that they are black. Yep. Talking about the Kia boys. Kia boys, yeah. All of the people that I've seen on the news talking as a Kia boy, let's just keep it 100. They look like me. Jean Wick says, crime ain't get better in Philly. They fudging the numbers like they did on The Wire. I agree with you. I'm coming to Philly and I'm coming to Baltimore. I'm about to see what's happening in these streets, and I want to see Marlo out there running the block. AWOL says, I said this 20 years ago, these grown mother effers taking jobs meant for teens, college students, and got the nerve to be about they pay. I agree with you, AWOL, 100%. Purple Haze says, Steve got a whole halter top on under that leather jacket. Steve looked like a wrestler out there. Brock says, Steve just came from an audition from the new Knight Rider movie. Spacer says, just imagine living in your car and waking up to find somebody stole a catalytic converter off your house. That's crazy. That's crazy out here in these streets. Let's move on. All right, speaking of homeless, because that's the theme. That's the name of the live stream today is we don't want nobody to steal your car. You know what else we having a problem with? You know what people are battling with? These jailhouse lawyers, and some of the times they be some of the best lawyers that you can find as far as their ability to really be able to know the law. Have y'all ever ran into some of those people that are like not First Amendment people, but people that like they go over to the police station? Have y'all ever seen any of those videos of the people that go to the police station and they be filming the cars and they doing it on purpose in order to wait for the police to go out and say, hey, I can film cars. This is public property. Hey, buddy, you work for me. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me. I pay your salary. There's nothing that you could do about it because according to the 18th letter of the third C of the law here in the United States of America, and then more importantly in this city, I have statutory rights and I'm not giving you over my ID. Have y'all ever seen them videos? If y'all haven't seen those videos, they're some of the funniest videos that I've ever seen in my entire life. There are people that spend day and night. They spend all of their spare time working feverishly to better understand the law so that they can go out there and bother people and make it difficult for people. Seriously. Hey, buddy, I can't believe you're pulling me over. No, I refuse. I refuse. I refuse. The only reason I'm even rolling my window down a little bit is just because I want you to be able to hear my voice, but you have no right. I don't care if I'm drunk. I don't care if I'm going down the street too fast. I don't care if I'm driving 95 miles an hour in a 25 miles per hour school zone. Hey, buddy, I'm a sovereign citizen and I'm not paying no taxes and I'm definitely not going to give you my ID. Hey, sir, can you please, if you don't get out this car, we busting that window. And we going to take your muffin top back. We going to peel your muffin top back, big dog. I'm not doing it, and I'm tired of it. And then he'd be like, something happened to him. They start pulling his muffin top back. And then you be talking about, well, little Johnny ain't never bothered nobody. He was always on top of things, and he never wanted no problems. He's not worth taking a life for. Then y'all start protesting. Then we got another distraction from what's happening with the national and the local election. Then you get these same leaders that's finessing you. Okay, all right. Let's get to serial squatters. I don't want to get off on a tangent right here. This is a story that came out a while ago, but I've always... Hold on, wait. I've always wanted to... Is this the story? Let me make sure I got the right one. Yeah, we're going to look at this one first.
Imagine this. You're a landlord and you have a non-paying tenant you've been trying to evict for months. While you're waiting on a court date here, that tenant is involved in a shooting at their apartment.
Hey, Hulk arms. This dude walking like the ground is shaking behind him. He got that badge on in the back of it. What is up with all of these people being weirdos? Look at this guy walking past him.
For months. While you're waiting on a court date here,
This dude is huge in the background. And he waited for her to start recording before he started walking by. Good grief. Good God almighty. This man looked like Thor in Endgame. The black version.
that tenant is involved in a shooting at their apartment. Now their neighbors are on edge and some want to move out. That's the reality at a Southwest Atlanta apartment complex.
I just tend to my little flowers and
Yolanda Ogletree
stay to myself and
finds joy in her garden.
Do what I do.
But that peace is routinely interrupted.
I'm sorry, I don't want to get emotional, but everywhere you go, you're kind of scared, you know.
Records show Atlanta.
Ain't nothing like our good old aunties and grandmamas getting the interview with that bonnet on the top of their head. But we gonna continue. This is over in Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen.
Police have been called to the hills at Greenbrier a little over 400 times since January 2022.
What do you need? Police, fire, or the ambulance?
I need everybody. Apparently someone shot.
Reports of fights, burglaries, even shootings.
Okay, what's the phone number?
Please, can you hurry? Because there's been a baby that's been shot.
In August,
Not the baby. Not the baby. Not over 400 calls to the same complex in less than a year. Not the baby. No, not the baby. Can y'all imagine living in a space where people come over there and they're not even supposed to be there and they causing all of the violence?
6-month-old baby boy was killed. His mother and father were also injured in what police called a targeted shooting.
The real issue here is the human safety issue.
Is this one of the problem tenants?
Kelly James runs the apartment management business that oversees the hills at Greenbrier. He took over the property in March and immediately spotted red flags.
We have several units at this property that have been on eviction since 2022. Some of these individuals, they won't follow the rules, and lease violations don't mean anything when they know that there's not a threat of imminent eviction.
So, remember when y'all was holding Cardi B accountable for owning property and why she ain't got a property manager that's more like a bulldog? You can only move as fast as the legislation allows for you to move in your city and state. And so when these people come into your neighborhood and they're terrorizing everything and they're not even paying rent, and then you get a good old property manager in there and they say, aha, nanny boo boo, we know the law better than you do. And they don't leave. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Thank you, Shensi. What do? Property manager can't drag them out of there. The sheriff ain't coming to get them. The law then upholds it and said that, they're going to go into family court, or not family court. They're going to go into court, and then they're going to say, Judge, I ain't got nowhere to go with my children. I got 7 kids by 8 baby daddies. I'm sorry, man. What do you mean you got 7 kids by 8 baby daddies? How's that the thing? I'm pregnant right now. Whoa. Bonquisha, we cannot put you out on the street. But I'm getting my life together. I got new prospects. So what is your new job? I'm a YouTuber and I'm giving other women advice on the type of men that they need to vet in order to make sure that they get into a relationship. Oh, I'm sorry, Bonquisha. What are you trying to do? I'm starting a YouTube channel, and I'm going to be giving other women advice on how it is that they need to manage their relationship and get into the relationship with the man of their dreams because we deserve it. Let me stop messing around.
Atlanta News First investigates look through the properties running evictions.
These people stopped paying in January 2023.
13 non-paying tenants have been involved in some type of incident on the property since their evictions were filed.
And they criminals. Ain't paid rent since 2022, and they over here tearing up the neighborhood.
That includes the mother of the 6-month-old baby boy. The hills at Greenbrier had been trying to evict her since last October.
Under normal circumstances, that unit would have been evicted long ago. Now, would that have prevented this tragedy? There's no way of saying, but under normal circumstances.
Michaela said I need to come to St. Louis.
that was filed approximately a year ago, that resident would not be on the property anymore.
But we're not living in normal circumstances. As Atlanta News First Investigates has reported, there are eviction court backlogs in Clayton, DeKalb, and Fulton counties. And the delays go beyond the courtroom. Once a ruling is issued, all evictions in Georgia must be supervised by a marshal or sheriff's deputy. And some of those agencies are also playing catch-up.
Because it ain't enough police officers or sheriffs, because they all took PPP loans down there in Broward County, and so they can't even help y'all evict these people. You on backlog. Even if you do go to court and these people know that you can't do nothing to them, even if it do go to court, you still can't do nothing to them because now you got to wait for the sheriffs in order to get them up out of there. And so they're going to be there for the next 2 years living rent-free, and there ain't nothing that you can do about it, but you sitting here trying to tell people how they need to get into the real estate game. One of the things that you need to do if you get into the real estate game is make sure that you pay attention to the state laws and location.
There are 2,900 evictions in the Fulton County Marshal's Department just waiting to be scheduled.
I'm sorry, Michela. My bad.
Hands are tied. We know who the troublemakers are, but we can't get them off the property.
Since taking over the hills at Greenbrier, R. James Properties has added cameras, lights, and courtesy officers. They've also fixed the entry gate and staffed it with security guards. But Yolanda Ogletree says
they still live in there.
The gate does very little when the problem tenants are already inside.
Yep.
If they have a problem, they got to go. They just need to get them up out of here. The court system needs to go faster.
And I talked with the Fulton County judge in charge of evictions just last month, and she acknowledged the backlog, but says her office has taken steps to reduce delays. That includes opening up Zoom mediation and adding additional eviction calendars to reduce this caseload. To take a closer look at what she had to say and watch our other stories on the eviction court backlog,
No, we don't need to see that. Listen, this is what it comes back down to. It is going to get more difficult. It's going to be getting rougher before it get better. Winter is coming. People are trying to survive. They looking at van life videos. I'm about to go and buy a van and make it van life just to see if I can get my numbers even up higher on a new channel that I create, because I know that that's what y'all want to see. I'm about to go and invest me in an Ford van. Maybe I'll go get a used Econoline. Maybe I'll get the Benz one. I'm going to be the luxury van life. Ain't no such thing as luxury van life, fam. Ain't nothing good about having to go and brush your teeth inside of Target and Walmart. Going having to take a shower inside of Planet Fitness. Not knowing where your next meal is going to come from. And if you leave your crib, which is your car, then you don't even know if your residence is going to get stolen because the Kia boys don't like it. It ain't nothing cool about getting evicted. Ain't nothing cool about not having. Listen, we not even own. For a lot of y'all, we not even own. And this ain't for the bag chaser. Shout out to the Patreon members. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We're not talking about the people that got that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. We're not talking. Some of y'all might just need to join the military so you can have some place to sleep at night. Some of y'all might need to go and serve your country so that you can have a place to get a hot meal and to sleep at night. The only other place that I know outside of that is jail. Only other place that I know outside of that is jail. Because listen, it is getting worse before it gets better. Man, my camera is slapping. My stuff is so clear. Anton, don't get distracted. It is getting worse before it gets better, and it is rough outside. Ladies, my Mercedes, hold 4 on the back, 2 if you're fat, get the gap. Ladies, it's rough out here. And you cannot take off from work because you are not going to get paid, and they got their eye on you, and that Social Security check is not coming until you're 69 and a half because you're not disabled, and you're not getting strike pay right now because you're not even a part of the union. It's getting rough out here. Remember when we had homeboy out there? Well, Rita, unhide it. Good grief. Don't worry. I'll have to. Looks like we got some problems with some people that I got to unhide. I don't know what's going on out here in these streets. Ladies and gentlemen, but I will go in afterwards, y'all. Will anybody that got hidden, I'm going to be making sure that you get unhidden because somebody hid you by mistake. So I'm going to make sure that I take care of y'all because I'm not focused on it. But more importantly, listen, y'all, lower your expenses, pre-plan, make adjustments, start to get your money up, and then lower your lifestyle so that you never are in a position to where you have to compromise your well-being or your self-respect because you don't have anywhere to stay. This is real. We're not even going to talk about real estate until tomorrow or something like that because right now we need to talk about survival. And it's a lot of people that are in survival mode. It's a lot of people that's trying to survive and get through the day. They're trying to figure it out. Anything that they can do, they will do. They don't understand how they got themselves in this position in the first place. It's rough. It's rough. We keep talking about a recession. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. We keep talking about recessions. You ain't got to worry about a recession. You know why you ain't got to worry about a recession? Because for a lot of y'all, the recession is here regardless of whatever it is that the Fed is doing over with the inflation, regardless of how much you're making as far as $20 an hour at the Waffle House. None of that matters. Your recession is right here, right now, and you are suffering as a result of it, and you have to be very, very, very careful. Very careful. Not to find yourself in a difficult situation. Let's take inventory of our lives and our circumstances, and let's not put ourselves behind the 8 ball because ain't nobody going to come and save you. Nobody is going to come and save you. Real talk. Let me read some of these super chats, and then I'm going to get y'all out of here for the day. Hopefully y'all got y'all reality check. Let's see. Had to sleep in my car for a little bit in my mid-20s. Hey, what you go through will eventually help you evolve, and you will never, ever want to be in that position again. Zach said most of these people who are fighting for $20 an hour be mad when those stamps get cut off because they make too much money. Yes, I have seen that. I have absolutely seen that. JC says landlords will start going postal on them renters. Hopefully not. We don't want to see anybody going postal. We want everybody to get their mail on time. You know what I'm saying? I know what postal mean. Justin, my dog, says, I got hit with this, bro. I listed a house and someone rented it out. They told me I had to wait 90 days. I paid a young boy to get him up out of there. Justin said, I'm not going for it, fam. I'm not going for it. I'm not property manager. I am a property manager. Brock says, pass a love offering. Thank you, Brock. I appreciate you for holding me down one time. And then my dog, 187, is in the building. 187 says, 4 years ago, I knew someone that wanted to do van life. He spent $70,000. 6 months later, his house died. Jesus Christ. Oh, needed a new motor. He's still paying it off. Not your house dying. Good grief. This is insane. Listen, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. I don't know if you subscribed or not. I don't know if you hit a like or not, but I would genuinely love to keep you in the fold and keep you in the loop of what it is that we got going on over here on the Millionaire Morning Show. I will be live streaming tonight on the Anton Daniels channel, and it's going to get spicy because we're going to be talking about sex. Yep, we're going to be talking about sex tonight. I've already made up in my mind. So listen. Do the thing that's in your own best interest. Don't get caught up with all of these people that's telling you what's best for you, but they don't have your best interest at heart. And let's run it up. Let's run it up. Let's go and get that money. Let's go and get that work. And more importantly, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Jacqueline says, my niece owes $7,000, but had no problems paying for her and a friend to a trip to Miami so she can get a BBL. Shout out to Jacqueline. I appreciate you. And tell your friend, that shouldn't even be, man, you need to divest yourself from her. Your niece, she ain't right. She ain't right. Shout out to all of the ladies that's going out here and getting their BBLs instead of paying their rent. You are something. You some kind of special. You some kind of special. Share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace, family.